Hi everyone, I'm Dodo from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you a new design. Happy Journey hand fan, rabbit version. This fan is divided into 3 parts. The main part, the decorations, and assembly. First, we'll make the main part. Then create the decorations. And finally assemble everything together. Let's start with the main part, which includes making motifs and connecting them. First, crochet the motifs, then connect them to the fan frame after completion. The motifs start with a chain ring method. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. You'll need to switch colors during the crocheting process. The crochet stitches used include chain stitches, double crochets, single crochets, and slip stitches. Next, I'll demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Take out the corresponding yarn. To make it easier to watch, I'll use different yarn for this demonstration, and the colors will be random. For specific yarn, color schemes and hook sizes, please refer to the product's detail page and paper instructions. First, start with a chain stitch. Make 12 chain stitches. Pay attention not to crochet the chain stitches too tight. Check the stitch count after completing. 1 braid represents 1 stitch. The loop on the hook is not counted as a stitch. Next, return to the first chain stitch. Pick up the top loop of the chain stitch, and crochet 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. This completes the casting on. Now start hooking the first round. First, make 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain. As the turning chain for the double crochet, which counts as 1 double crochet stitch. Then crochet 2 chain stitches as a space. Next, crochet 1 double crochet into the starting ring. The yarn tail can be hidden while crocheting. Crochet another 2 chain stitches as a space. The remaining part of this round is working into the starting ring, alternating 1 double crochet and 2 chain stitches. Continue crocheting downward. Check the stitch count after completing. Including the turning chain, there are a total of 12 double crochet stitches. Finally, pick up 2 loops on the 3rd chain stitch of the turning chain, and make a slip stitch. Pull tight. The next round requires a color change. Crochet 1 chain stitch to secure. Leave a 5 cm yarn tail, and break the yarn. Hide the yarn tail into the fabric. Trim off the excess yarn tail. This completes the first round. You can see the front side texture of the double crochet is clear. The back side texture is blurry. Motifs are always crocheted on the right side. Now move on to crochet the second round. Take the corresponding color yarn. Attach the yarn to the turning chain. Make a slip knot. Insert the hook. Draw the loop through. Adjust the loop size. The joining is completed. Chain 1 to begin. The beginning chain for the single crochet doesn't count as one stitch. Crochet 1 single crochet at the joining position. Then chain 10. Next, skip 1 chain space underneath. Crochet 1 single crochet into the double crochet on the left side. Then chain 5. The rest of this round will be worked into each double crochet from the previous round. Crochet 1 single crochet into each. Alternate between chaining 10 and chaining 5 between the single crochets. Follow this method. Crochet the last single crochet. Once the last single crochet is completed, chain 2. Crochet 1 double crochet into the first stitch. Don't break the yarn. This completes round 2. Now crochet round 3. Work 6 double crochets into the 10 chain space on the left side. Then chain 3. Work 6 double crochets. We'll treat what's already crocheted as one pattern group for this round. After completing that, make 1 single crochet into the 5 chain space on the left side. The remaining part of this round is working one pattern group into the 10 chain space. Work 1 single crochet into the 5 chain space. Follow this pattern to complete the entire round. End by making 1 single crochet into the 2 chain space on the left side. Finally, join with a slip stitch to the first double crochet of this round. Next, compare with the dimensions shown in the chart. If there's a significant difference in size, adjust your tension and recrochet. After completing that, chain 1. Finally, break the yarn. This completes the third round. Next, move on to the fourth round. Join the yarn into the 3 chain space on the left side of the yarn tail. Chain 3 as the beginning chain, which counts as 1 double crochet. Next, work 2 chain spaces apart. Crochet 6 double crochets in the same stitch, separated by 2 chains between each double crochet. After completing that, chain 6. We consider the beginning chain, and the following crocheting as one pattern. Repeat. Work another group. Into the 3 chain space of the motif on the left, crochet 6 double crochets, with 2 chain spaces between each 2 double crochets. Next, chain 6. This completes another group. Repeat this process to finish this round. Finally, slip stitch into the 3rd chain of the beginning chain. Cut the yarn. This completes round 4. Now, let's move on to round 5. Take the corresponding yarn. Join the yarn at the insertion point of the slip stitch from the previous round. Make 1 chain to start. Work 1 more single crochet in the same stitch. Then work 8 chains. Skip the chain space on the left. Work 1 single crochet in the double crochet on the left. Then make 4 chain spaces. Next, work 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 double crochets on the left. Alternate between working 8 chains and 4 chains between the single crochets. After completing that, work 6 chains. We'll consider the first single crochet and the stitches worked after it as one sequence for this round. The remaining part of this round will be repeating this sequence. Refer to the chart to finish this round. Don't cut the yarn at the ending. That's the explanation for the 5th round. Now move on to the 6th round. Start with 1 chain as the beginning chain. Insert the hook into the whole double crochet and work 1 single crochet. Then, in the chain space of the 8 chains on the left, work 4 double crochets first. Then work 3 chains. In the same position, work another 4 double crochets. We'll consider the stitches worked in the same chain space as one group. Treat it as a group of stitches for this round. Then work 1 single crochet in the chain space of the 4 chains on the left. Next, work a group of stitches in the chain space of the 8 chains on the left. That means working 4 double crochets first. Then 3 chains. And finally 4 double crochets. One group is now completed. Then work 1 single crochet in the chain space of the 4 chains on the left. Work another group in the chain space of the 8 chains on the left. After completing it, work 1 single crochet in the chain space of the 6 chains on the left. The remaining part of this round alternates between chain spaces, working 1 single crochet and 1 group of stitches, mindful that each group is worked in the chain space of 8 chains. Everyone follow this method to complete the round. Finally, join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet. Cut the yarn. Round 6 is completed. Now work on round 7. Take the corresponding color yarn. Attach the yarn in the chain space of 3 chains on the left side of the yarn tail. Chain 3 as the beginning chain, which counts as 1 double crochet, then work 2 chain spaces. In the same space, work 3 double crochets. Between each double crochet, skip 2 chain stitches. After completing, work 4 chain stitches. We consider the beginning chain and the following stitches as one sequence. Then work another sequence. That is, in the chain space of 3 chains. Work 4 double crochets. Skip 2 chain stitches between every 2 double crochets. After completing, work 4 chain stitches. Another sequence is done. Everyone follow this method to finish crocheting. Join with a slip stitch at the beginning chain when finished. After completing, take out the fan frame for fitting. Pay attention, there's a layer of rust-proof oil on the fan frame. First wipe off this layer of oil with a paper towel. You can wipe it several times. After wiping clean, compare the fabric piece with the fan frame. Hold the motif with your left hand, pull it a bit with your right hand. Make sure it doesn't go beyond the fan frame. After fitting, cut the yarn and weave in the ends. Make sure all remaining yarn tails are neatly woven in. This completes round 7. Next, crochet round 8. This round needs to be connected to the fan frame. Take the corresponding yarn. Position any cluster from round 3 of the motif facing upward. Above this cluster, join the yarn in the middle 2 chain spaces of round 7. Make 1 beginning chain to start. After completing, remove the fan frame. Position the tip of the fan frame facing upward as well. Then work 1 single crochet in the joining position. Pay attention to go through both the chain space and the fan frame. Next, in the 2 chain spaces on the left, work 3 single crochets. Remember, this entire round must be worked through both the chain spaces and the fan frame. It's not very easy to crochet, so everyone needs to be a bit patient. Next, in the 4 chain spaces on the left, work 8 single crochets. Continue working 3 single crochets in each of the 2 chain spaces on the left. We'll treat the 8 single crochets on the right side, and the following stitches as one sequence. Everyone, continue crocheting following this method. Keep crocheting until you reach the last chain space at the end. After completing, you'll arrive at the right side of the fan frame tip. Work 3 single crochets in the 2 chain spaces. Work 1 single crochet in the chain space at the joining position. Then join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Next, make 1 chain stitch to secure. Leave a 10 cm yarn tail, and cut the yarn. Wrap the yarn tail along the tip of the fan frame. Apply glue while wrapping and attaching. Once wrapping is done, take out the fan handle. Apply more glue on it. Stuff the tip into the fan handle. With that, the motif and its connection are explained. The main part has been fully explained. Next, we'll move on to the accessories. They are divided into the ears, the face, and the pom-pom. Let's start with the ears. Begin with a magic ring. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Before crocheting, let's take a look at the table. Our plus number indicates the round number. This column shows the increases and decreases explanation. It shows the stitch patterns needed when crocheting the current round, including where to increase or decrease. The total stitches column indicates the total number of stitches after completing all stitches in this round. The stitches used for the ears include X single crochet, V single crochet increase, a single crochet decrease, chain stitch and slip stitch. Next, I'll demonstrate the specific crochet method. Start with a double magic ring. After casting on, begin crocheting the first round. Round 1, 6x. The number before x indicates how many single crochets to make. This means you'll crochet 6 single crochets into the magic ring loop. Make 1 beginning chain to start. This starting chain isn't shown in the chart. It's actually used when crocheting in rounds. At the beginning of each round, you need to make a starting chain. The starting chain doesn't count as one stitch. Pull tight, then start crocheting single crochets. After completing, tighten the loop. Leave the starting yarn tail in front. Next, slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch. This completes the slip stitch. The slip stitch doesn't count as one stitch. Need to pull it tight. This slip stitch is not indicated in the form. In actual crocheting in rounds, you always finish with a slip stitch and pull tight. This completes the first round. The right side has a clear texture. The wrong side has a blurry texture. When crocheting, keep the right side facing you. The wrong side should face outward. From now on, crochet on the right side only. Now check the stitch count. 1 stitch represents 1 single crochet. Start counting from the first stitch, and continue all the way to the last stitch. This round has a total of 6 single crochets. Next, we'll crochet the second round. Our 2 is XV times 3. Parentheses indicate 1 repeat sequence. The times number indicates how many times to repeat the pattern. First, make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Let me emphasize this again. At the beginning of each round, you must make a beginning chain. I won't mention this again afterward. Then, work 1 single crochet into the first stitch. Make 1 single crochet increase on the left side. That means working 2 single crochets into the same stitch. This completes the single crochet increase. At the same time, 1 set of the stitch pattern in parentheses is completed. Next, work another set. First, make 1 single crochet. Then, make 1 single crochet increase. This completes another set. 1 set remains. Continue working this way until finished. Finally, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. From now on, at the end of each round, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch and pull tight. This completes round 2. The wrong side of the fabric will naturally curl outward. No need to fix it, just work on the right side as it is. Now, move on to round 3. After completing the beginning chain, work 1 single crochet first. Then work 1 single crochet on the left side. Next, make a single crochet increase. This completes 1 sequence of the pattern. There are 2 more sequences left in this round. Complete them using the same method. Once done, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. This completes round 3. Next, I'll show you how to count rounds. On the wrong side of the fabric, you'll see horizontal bars. Count the rounds by counting these horizontal bars. 1, 2, 3. Now you've crocheted a total of 3 rounds. For rounds 4 through 18 next, refer to the chart to crochet the corresponding stitch patterns. Mindful when crocheting, don't forget to work the beginning chain and slip stitch. Check the number of stitches after completing each round. Avoid adding or missing stitches to prevent affecting the finished product's appearance. Let me explain here. In the chart, R7, R11, even 21x means starting from the 7th round. Work 1 single crochet in each stitch. Each round has 21 stitches. Continue this way until the end of the 11th round. Everyone follow this method until completing the 18th round. The sample has already completed the first 18 rounds. Now we'll begin the 19th round. Start with 7 single crochets. Then work 1 single crochet decrease. Insert the hook into the back loop only of the second stitch on the left side, which is the loop farther away from you. Then insert into the back loop of the stitch on the right side. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. This completes 1 single crochet decrease. This type of decrease, worked only into the back loops, is called an invisible decrease because the wrong side is facing out. You need to work into the back loop of the stitches. This completes the stitch pattern in the brackets. Next, work another group. Start with 7 single crochets. Then work 1 single crochet decrease. Let me demonstrate again. Insert the hook into the back loop only of the second stitch on the left side. Then into the back loop of the stitch on the right side. Pull the yarn through. Then yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Another single crochet decrease is completed. The second group is also done. 1 group remains. Everyone continue following this method to finish it. This completes round 19. For the remaining rounds, continue crocheting the corresponding stitch patterns by referring to the chart. Remember to check the stitch count after completing each round. To avoid adding extra stitches or missing any, leave a 30 cm yarn tail, and break the yarn at the end. This completes the explanation for one ear. The other ear can be crocheted using the same method. Next, we'll learn how to crochet the face. It's divided into the forehead, the cheeks, and the edging. Let's start with the forehead. Begin with a magic ring and crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The technique is similar to crocheting the ears. The number of stitches and rounds are different, but the stitch techniques used have already been demonstrated earlier. Follow the chart to complete the crocheting. Note that you don't need to break the yarn after finishing. This completes the explanation for the forehead. Next, we'll learn how to crochet the cheeks. There are 2 cheeks in total. Start with the yarn from the forehead and crochet 1 cheek first. After completing it, join the yarn to crochet the other side. Each row is crocheted on the right side. Finally, crochet around the forehead and cheeks to add an edging. One new technique will be used: carrying the yarn across. Now, watch me demonstrate the specific crochet method. Start with the first row of 1 cheek. Make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Then work the corresponding number of single crochets into each stitch in sequence. After completing the last stitch, the first row is done. Next, carry the yarn across. First, stretch the loop. Pass the yarn or fabric through the loop. Then tighten the yarn tail. Next, find the starting position for the second row. Pull the yarn from the front of the fabric to hook it out. Make sure not to pull the yarn too tight. Keep it close to the fabric. Then continue crocheting the second row. Make one chain as your beginning chain. Then refer to the chart and work single crochets accordingly. Carry the yarn across and wrap it into the stitches. Skip the last 2 stitches. This completes the second row. The next rows, row 3 and row 4, are worked in a similar way as row 2, only the stitch count is different. You'll start each row by carrying the yarn. Pull the yarn to the starting position of each row, then hook it out. Pay attention to the skipped stitches at the end. Cut the yarn after completing the last row. Everyone, finish these rows. This completes one side of the face. Now crochet the other side of the face. Place the completed cheek on your right hand side. Then find the starting position. Hook the yarn out. Then follow the chart to crochet. Pay attention to carrying the yarn at the beginning of each row, then follow the chart to crochet the corresponding stitch patterns. Cut the yarn in the end. Everyone, finish this side of the cheek. Next, crochet the edging at the slip stitch mark on the face. Attach the yarn to the last stitch on the right side. Then make a beginning chain of 1 to start. Crochet 1 single crochet increase at the joining position. Then, at the first stitch of the first row on the left cheek, crochet 1 single crochet. Crochet 1 single crochet increase on the left side. Then pick up the stitch of the second row, and crochet 1 single crochet. One single crochet increase. Pick up the stitch of the third row, and crochet 1 single crochet increase. Next, pick up the stitches of the last row, and work 1 single crochet into each stitch. After completing, pick up the remaining stitches of the third row, and crochet 1 single crochet increase. Also crochet the carried yarn into it. Then pick up the remaining stitches of each row on the cheek in sequence. Work one single crochet into each stitch accordingly. When reaching the face, pick up the stitches and work one single crochet into each stitch. Crochet the other cheek following the chart. After completing, pick up the remaining stitches of the last round on the face and crochet single crochets. Finally, join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet, fasten off the yarn and weave in the ends. Everyone, the edging is now completed. This concludes the explanation of one face. The other one can be done following the same method. Next, let's learn how to make a pom-pom. It is made by wrapping yarn around a pom-pom maker. Below are 2 video demonstrations showing how to make pom-poms. You can learn the method first, then use the corresponding yarn to make the pom-pom. Now, let's show the method of making a pom-pom using a pom-pom maker. Commonly used pom-pom makers typically come in 4 sizes. The size varies, depending on the model used. The diameters of the resulting pom-poms are 3-5 cm, 5-5 cm, 7 cm, and 9 cm. Choose the appropriate size pom-pom maker, based on the desired diameter of the pom-pom. A set of pom-pom makers looks like this 2-piece set. Open all the buckles on the top. Then align the dot and the circle here. Dividing it into 2 arcs. Take out the yarn. Wrap the yarn around the arc. Try to wrap it as evenly as possible. Wrap this side of the arc almost full, or wrap to the desired number of rounds. After finishing one side, wrap the other side in the opposite direction. Wrap this side completely as well. Once wrapping is complete, fold it in half. Snap the buckle here. Cut the yarn tails. From the gap in the middle of the pom-pom maker, cut the yarn. Do the same on the other side. Next, cut a piece of yarn, about 30 cm in length. Secure it with a knot through the gap in the middle of the pom-pom maker. Try to pull the yarn tail tight. Then tie another knot on the other side. Tie several knots to secure it firmly. Then release the pom-pom maker. Fluff it up. And trim it with scissors to make it rounder. This is what the pom-pom looks like after it's done. How to make a pom-pom using cardboard. Prepare a thick cardboard strip that's 1 cm wider than the desired diameter of the pom-pom. In other words, if the desired diameter of the pom-pom is 4 cm, then the width of the cardboard should be 5 cm. Cut a slit in the center. Then wrap the yarn around the cardboard. The number of rounds will vary, which results in pom-poms with different levels of fullness. You can adjust based on actual needs and the amount of remaining yarn. Once wrapping is done, cut the yarn. Then cut a piece of sturdy yarn in the same color. Wrap it around all the loops. Tie a knot. Thread it to the other side and tie another knot. Tie 2 more knots to secure it. Then remove the loops from the cardboard. Cut open the loops on both ends. After fluffing them up, use scissors to trim them into a ball shape. This is how to make a pom-pom using cardboard. You can use a cord to secure the pom-pom onto the fabric. Next, Let's move on to assembly. Start by attaching the motif decorations. Then assemble the fan handle decorations. Once done, attach the face onto the main part. Next, assemble the pom-poms. Finally, attach the ribbons. Now, watch me demonstrate the specific assembly method. Start by attaching the motif decorations. Take out 2 motif pads and 2 corresponding color beads. Cut a 3/0 cm piece of gold thread and thread it through the yarn needle. Set aside. First, place the center protrusions of the 2 motif pads facing each other. Slightly press the petals of the motif pads flat with your hands. After pressing them flat, take out the main part. Position it with the fan handle facing downward. Then place the motif pads at the starting stitch position of the main motif. Pay attention that one of the petals should be facing upward. Then sew through the holes on the petals of the motif pad. While sewing, also pass through the starting stitch position of the main motif. Continue sewing using this method. Finally, draw the thread through the center hole of the motif pad. Sew on 1 bead. Then thread through the center to the other side. Sew on another bead. Finally, tie a knot and weave in the ends. This completes the assembly of the motif decoration. Next, assemble the fan handle decoration. First, take the metal motif. Then wrap it around a pen to form a tube. Then slide it onto the fan handle. Once done, take one closed jump ring. Open both ends. Insert through the hole at the bottom of the fan handle. Pinch it tight with your hand. Then cut a 20 cm piece of corresponding yarn. Gently pinch the yarn with your left hand. With your right hand, pull out 3 strands. Insert into the yarn needle. Leave a little yarn tail. First, insert 1 tassel. Then thread 1 red glass bead. One 4 mm pearl. One glass bead. The swatch here uses random colors. Then thread another 4 mm pearl. Then insert into the closed jump ring. Then tie 1 knot. Thread back through the pearl and glass bead. Then tie a knot with the yarn tail from the tassel. Finally, weave in and cut the yarn. This completes the assembly of the fan handle decoration. Next, assemble the rabbit's face. First, sew the ears together. Then make a button loop. Sew on the pearl button. Then attach the face to the main part. Then create and install the facial features. Sew on the small flower decorations. Finally, wrap the light string around. Now, let's show. First, sew the ears onto the face. Take 1 ear and 1 face piece. Then press the ear flat. The opening faces inward and creates a dent. The slip stitch mark should be on the left. Then thread the reserved yarn tail through the sewing needle. Sew a few stitches into the indented part of the ear. Next, turn the face piece inside out so the back side is facing outward. Sew the second to last round of the ear onto the upper right side of the face. Sew along the texture of the fabric. Then tie a knot. Don't cut the yarn tail yet. Hook out through the adjacent stitch on the left side of the face. Then chain 10. Next, join with a slip stitch in the next stitch. Pull tight, weave in and cut the yarn. This completes the button loop. Next, sew one ear to the left side of the button loop. Align the slip stitch mark to the right. Remember to sew a few stitches first at the indentation, then continue sewing onto the face. Everyone, sew the ears on properly. Once done, cut a 30 cm piece of yarn, in the same color as the ear. Sew a purl button onto the other face piece. Place the two face pieces with right sides together, with the wrong side facing out. Align the blush position. Sew a purl button at the corresponding position of the button loop. First, insert into the inside. Tie a knot. Then sew the purl button. Finally, tie off and weave in the ends. This completes the sewing of the purl button. Next, sew the face onto the main part. Position it with the handle facing downward. Place the main part with the right side facing up, then position the face with the ears facing forward on the front of the main part. Place the other face piece behind the main part. Make sure the wrong side is facing out. Align the blush position. Pay attention to the ears pointing upward, sew it onto the upper left side of the main motif. You can refer to the finished product for exact placement, or adjust according to your own preference. Then cut a few pieces of yarn of any length, secure the face edges in place. Pay attention to leaving the sides of the ears open and do not sew those areas. Once secured, cut a 50 cm piece of corresponding yarn and thread it into the yarn needle. Use the whip stitch technique to sew. Insert from the left ear edge position. Come out after tying a knot. Then pick the front loop of the front fabric piece. That is the strand of the stitch closest to you. Then pick the back loop of the back fabric piece. That is the strand of the stitch farthest from you. Match one stitch and sew. One stitch corresponds to one stitch when sewing. When reaching the fan frame position, sew and secure a few extra times. When reaching the motif section, sew it in as well. Continue sewing until reaching the slip stitch marks on the face. Once at the slip stitch marks on the face, insert the batteries. Leave the string lights outside the slip stitch marks. Then stuff with an appropriate amount of cotton. Continue sewing. Sew all the way to the right edge of the ear. Finally, tie a knot and weave in the end. Weave in and cut the yarn. Next, create the facial features. Take the non-woven fabric in the corresponding color. Cut out 2 triangles about 1 centimeter tall. The width should not exceed the eyes. Then cut 2 more ovals. 0.8 centimeter tall and 0.4 centimeter wide. Place one of the triangles with its tip facing to the right. Then attach it to the face. Position it at the slip stitch marks from the 7th to the 9th round. The other triangle should have its tip facing to the left. Attach it to the left side of the face at the 3rd to the 5th round. Next, take the eyes. Apply glue and attach them on top of the triangles. Once they are attached, glue the oval shapes vertically above the 2 eyes. Next, cut a 2 0-centimeter piece of the corresponding yarn between the 2 eyes. Embroider a Y-shaped nose. First, come out from underneath the 7th round. Leave the yarn tail on the outside. Then, embroider the Y-shaped nose. After that, exit through the reserved yarn tail. Tie a knot with the tail. Finally, hide it inside the fabric. This completes the facial features. Next, sew a small flower decoration underneath the left ear. Cut a 3/0 cm strand of yarn matching the face color. Pull out 2 strands and thread them through the sewing needle. Insert through the opening. Tie a knot. Then sew on a 3D osman this flower, followed by a small purl. Then go back through the 3D osman this flower. Next, come out on the left side. And sew on a leaf. This completes one group of small flower decorations. Attach the remaining small flower decorations using the same method. Refer to the finished product for exact quantity and placement, or adjust based on your personal preference. That concludes the explanation for the small flower decorations. Next, thread the light string through the 4th round of the motif. From the middle gap of the double crochet group on the right side. Then come out through the chain stitch on the right. And exit through the middle gap of the next group of double crochets. Continue threading in this way until reaching underneath the face. Then bend the light string. Insert from the back into the 7th round of the main part. Then come out through the middle gap of each group of double crochets in this round. And insert into the next gap in the same way. Thread through the entire round following this method. Then thread into the opening. Wrap the end of the light string around the small flower, leaving one small light bulb inside the gap of the small flower. This completes the assembly of the rabbit's face. Next, assemble the pom-pom. Use the scissors to pick up the yarn tail. Thread the reserved yarn tail of the pom-pom into the sewing needle. And sew it onto the lower right side of the main part, onto the double crochet stitches of the 7th round of the motif. Finally, tie a knot and cut the yarn. This completes the assembly of the pom-pom. Next, assemble the ribbon for the shrimp face. Cut a piece of ribbon 120 cm long, and another piece of yarn 30 cm long in the same color as the face. Remove 2 strands from it, thread them into the sewing needle, and set aside for later use. Then fold the ribbon in half, paying attention to the staggered colors. Pass the ribbon from the right side of the cheek through the 4th round of the main motif. Exit at the 2nd double crochet stitch counting from right to left. Leave 1 5 cm extending outside. Then wrap the ribbon around to form a loop and thread it through again. Next, sew a few stitches at the crossing point of the ribbon. Tie a knot with the yarn tail, cut the yarn and weave in the ends. Then pass the ribbon through from the back of the motif at the fan frame on the left side of the other cheek. Wrap it around one loop, and then thread it through again. The ribbon at the back can be a bit looser. Then sew the crossing point onto the fan frame. Make sure not to show any sewing traces on the front side. Next, tie a knot with the yarn tail on the wrong side. Cut the yarn and weave in the ends. You can trim both ends of the ribbon. After trimming, use a lighter to gently melt the edges. To prevent fraying. Next, attach a group of half-round pearls on the edge of the ribbon. Take 2 half-round pearls and glue them 1 centimeter from one end of the ribbon. This group of half-round pearls is now attached. For the remaining half-round pearls on the ribbon edges, attach them all using the same method. Next, attach half-round pearls onto the main motif. The method is similar to how you attach the pearls on the ribbon. On the 6th round of the main motif, attach a group of half-round pearls at the center position of the remaining motifs. Start from the second motif on the right side of the face, and attach a group of half-round pearls every other motif. Continue attaching the half-round pearls all the way to the second motif below the face. Everyone should now attach their half-round pearls as described. Finally, apply a small amount of blush powder under the ears and eyes, using a few light touches. Up to this point, the crocheting method for this round fan is now completely explained. If you have any unclear parts during the crocheting process, don't hesitate to join our Facebook group to get supports. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.